There's nothing better than rotisserie anything. I mean, you think about whole chickens, prime ribs, just sitting there spinning indirect with that heat source coming, just basting in its own fat. I mean, flavor, it's nothing better. So if I'm cooking a chicken on a rotisserie, the first thing I want to make sure to do is truss it. You know, you don't want those wings or the legs just kind of flopping around on the rotisserie. They might fall off actually, you know, towards the end of the cook when it's done. So you give it a nice truss. I actually like to put my birds onto the tines and the rotisserie rod before I season, and it just gives it a little bit less handling. So I'll put them onto the tines, put it on the rotisserie, give it a nice layer of oil, and then whatever seasoning you want. You know, season it up, but you want to season it heavy. Once again, it's a pretty large item, over season it. So there's all different kinds of foods you can put on a rotisserie. You know, one that I like to do is a leg of lamb. But once again, you got to truss it. I like to hold that meat nice and tight together because when you take it off, you get just like a nice, like the meat just slices better. It just looks nicer. And then I'll season the outside of it. You can put salt, pepper, a little bit of herbs, whatever you want. But once again, just slide it into the rotisserie motor and just let the grill do its work. Setting up your rotisserie is actually pretty simple. You know, and one of the hacks that I like to give people on the front end of it though is balancing your food on your rotisserie is probably one of the most important things, just to make sure that it spins evenly. And I even do that on the spit before I set up the grill, just to make sure I'm not like stepping over heat or, you know, any of the charcoal or the gas grill, whatever you're using. Once I have the food on the spit and I'm ready to go to the grill, I want to make sure that I'm centered on the spit. Once I put the spit into the motor, I want to make sure that I'm centered though in that indirect zone. I like to put a drip pan in the middle of whatever type of grill I'm using, and then you just allow that rotisserie to spin indirect and take that heat from the grill, convective heat, and just cook. So anything I typically come off a rotisserie for me, I always rest it. And depending on the size will give me the length of my rest. So the larger items, I might go 20 minutes or 30 minutes, like a prime rib, a big prime rib. But a chicken, I'll go 15, 20 minutes. Just enough time to kind of come down from that high heat steam that you kind of see coming off of it to where you can start to work with it and you'll enjoy it much more. So we've removed our roast from the grill, taken off the rotisserie. We've rested it now for the time that we want to. I'll take that meat, I'll put it onto the cutting board, slice it up. It is gonna be one of the best bites that you've ever had.
I think that covered everything. Yeah.